I'm Dan Sayre of Daniel's Training Services, and I provide training and consulting services for the management of waste and also for the transportation of hazardous materials. The purpose of this video isn't to explain any of those regulations. The purpose of this video is to explain the limits of the information that I can provide and to insert a disclaimer and give you some warnings and things so that whenever you're viewing my videos or reading my information, you kind of have an idea of some of the limits of what I can provide to you. Okay, so let's get right into that. First off, an explanation. Most of my videos they're meant to be relatively brief discussions of very complex regulations, all right? So what I typically do in my videos is kind of give you a summary overview of articles that I've already written. So I write articles on these topics, sometimes 4 or 5 pages long. Those I post to my blog. And then I come here and do a video that only summarizes that information. So view the video, and if you need more information, go to the articles themselves, which I put a link to in the discussion to the video. Okay, so this is only a summary. So if you need more information, if you want more information, that's the thing to do. Watch the video first and then dig deeper into the article and the regulations themselves. And of course, you can always contact me if you have a question. Now, a disclaimer statement. Here's a big one. These regulations can change over time, and they frequently do. So the US EPA and states are frequently, periodically, changing their regulations. Some examples are, for example, the Generator Improvements Rule that had a huge effect on the federal and state regulations for the management of waste. That went into effect on May 30th of 2017. And then you had the e-manifest system going live on June 30th of 2018. And then you had the definition of solid waste rule, which had significant changes being published and being effective in 2008, and then 2015, and then again in 2018. So these regs are always changing. The information that you see in this video and what you read in my articles can only be up to date as of that moment. So check the date to the videos, to my articles, and compare that to the current state of the regulations. I can't necessarily always come up with those changes, as they immediately roll out. So watch for those changes. Another one, as I mentioned already, states. So there are really 2 sets of regulations when we're talking about the EPA regulations for the management of waste. You have the federal level in your federal regulations, but you also have state regulations. States can have their own authorized hazardous waste program. I'll have a link in the discussion to an article about that, okay? And so frequently in these videos, unless I say otherwise, I'm only giving you the federal version of things, and then you'll have to check with your state to see how they adopt and enforce those regulations, because state regulations can be more stringent and more broad than the federal. So watch for those differences. And then another one is just be on your own guard. The fact of the matter is that you cannot rely entirely on what you learn from me or from a consultant or even from a representative of a state or federal agency. You could contact a state or federal representative. They could tell you what to do to comply with the regs, and they could be wrong. Okay, I've had that happen. The fact of the matter is that when it comes down to it, it's you as the generator of the waste that's responsible for the cradle-to-grave management of that waste, and there's just no way around that, okay? So use this information that I provide as a guide. I believe it's reliable. I do everything I can to make it reliable, and I back up my sources, but you've got to do your own research, okay, to ensure compliance. So, in sum, watch the videos, dig deeper into my articles for more information if you want that. Research the latest edition of the regulations. Check with your state. Make sure they have the same enforcement and the same regulations as the federal. Then you can always contact me with a question, whether it's a phone call or an email or through the comment section on the video, my videos, whatever it is, you're free to contact me and ask me with questions and clarification. So again, let's comply with the regulations. Let's manage waste properly, cradle to grave,